Jump the shark too. Jump the shark too. Well, good day YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino beer review. I think you just saw my unders. This is a 7% alcohol by volume beer from the good people at Five Paddles Brewing Company. The ingredients are malted barley, pumpkin, rye, spices, hops, and yeast. This is Jump the Pumpkin Shark 2. Now, Jump the Pumpkin Shark last year was a pumpkin barley wine. This year, it's a pumpkin Rye Saison, which is kind of interesting. It kind of screams something like, kind of reminds me something of like a Saison du Pump from GLB, which will be the beer I'm going to have to judge this against in my head, because I think that's the only pumpkin Saison I've had up until this one. Now, this was picked up for me by a friend who happens to work in Whitby during the week, so she picked this up for me. Things happened where our schedules didn't mingle for a couple months. I mean, this is December now. This beer came out at Halloween, so I mean, it took a little while to get to me, and that was my fault. My schedule never mixed with theirs, and it doesn't matter though, because I have it now, and I just got blood on my finger, and really, that's all that matters. And the greatest thing about getting it now is that I can drink a pumpkin beer out of season. No pumpkin after Thanksgiving, no pumpkin especially after Halloween. It is for me. There's pumpkin for me. Okay. Wow, that cascaded up really nicely. About the color you'd expect from most Saison. It is not the cloudiest in the glass right now, but I did not Weiss roll this, and it looks like it might be a little sludgier at the bottom. But there is a cloudiness to it. It is at least hazy, so I might just not have gotten enough sediment out of it. Or it might be slightly filtered. It doesn't really matter though. It does look good. It looks the part. I mean, it does. It looks the part of a Saison. Well, actually, you know what? It is a little darker than a Saison normally is. A Saison's usually more that straw yellow color, where this is more that slightly starting orange. Nice white head on the very top. Nothing spectacular, but just to remind you that you have a beer. It kind of looks... I don't know which one of the Five Paddles made this, but please don't get angry at me for this. But if that head faded away instead of staying there, it would kind of remind me of like an ice beer. That slightly deeper color from the sugar fortification and all that. That's what it would remind me of. Not that it is. Not that it is. Let's just smell it. Let's forget about the appearance. Let's forget about the appearance, because somebody's going to hit me. Okay. Someone's gonna hit me again. Okay, out of the glass, little like Belgian yeastiness, tiny bit of a clove scent, tiny bit of the spicy rye, making me think of caraway bread. Out of the bottle, I hate paradigms, because paradigms, you know, are created by your own experiences, and they're really hard to get past. And if I smell this out of the bottle, I think of my grandmother's bathroom. I think of those little flowery soaps that old ladies always had. How many of you guys would go into an old lady's bathroom and she'd have like those weird shaped soaps, you know, this is a flower, this one's an opal, and they just had that kind of strange perfume, sweet smell. That's what this reminds me of. Washing my hands in my grandmother's washroom with her flower soaps. That's fucked up. Glass, nice. Grandmother's bathroom, nice. Grandmother's bathroom. I'm just gonna have to try not to think of my grandmother's bathroom while I'm drinking this. Cheers, boys and squirrels. Let's drink the beer. Respect the paddle. Unless you're a 300-pound albino, don't respect anybody then. Different? Yes. Good? I think so, but it does have a little too much of some things that I don't like. Better than Saison du Pump. Okay, there we go. Now it's nice and thick. Better than Saison du Pump? I think so. I haven't tried it with the full sludge in it yet, though, so let's try again. Okay. I'm getting cloves. Lots of cloves, which is the part I don't like. I don't like that clove taste. A little bit of nutmeg, too. And the clove and nutmeg are kind of making a weird, gritty background with the rye and the Belgian yeast. Very complex beer. You do get that spiciness of the rye, and I think that's what's making the cloves and the nutmeg just pop. Excuse me. You know, the cloves just turn into that, not even coriander, it turns into, fuck, it doesn't even matter, it's just, it's a little overpowering on the back end. On the front end, get a nice touch of that rye again. Is a little heavier than you would expect body-wise than from a normal Saison, most likely coming from that pumpkin. And the rye, of course. Yeah, but see, this is weird because you do get a lot of those pumpkin spices. I mean, cloves and nutmeg seem to be jumping out for me, but you are getting some cinnamon. You are getting some a touch of allspice. I am getting again cloves. I keep saying cloves because cloves are just drying out my palate right now. You are getting the spiciness of a rye. You're getting a nice sweetness from the rye and a spiciness from the rye at the same time. Spiciness is coming at the end, the sweetness is coming at the beginning. You are tasting a bit of pumpkin. It is a nice drinking beer. It is better for me. It is better for me personally than Saison du Pump. Not everybody's going to agree with that, and that's perfectly fine. Excuse me. But is it a great beer? No. If I had a choice between this one and the Grim Reaper, I would choose the Grim Reaper any day. But that is kind of biased at the same time because I am a stout fan more so than a Saison fan. And your Saison's 7% alcohol. Make a fucking 4% alcohol Saison. Fuck you. Anyway, great try. I love that these guys play with styles. I hope that on their big boy system in their new home, that they still just keep coming out with new beers, and I do hope that it lets some of these beers stay on the shelves longer so that that more people get a chance to try them. I do wish them the greatest of luck with where they are now, and yeah, so of the 2 of the 3 pumpkin beers that were brought back for me, that is a yes, well, a yes to the stout, and a yes to the Saison. There's nothing I can say that, there's no faults I can give it other than the cloves are too much. Some people are going to love that. I mean, there are people that love cloves in their pumpkin beers. There are people that don't. Cloves are actually the make or break point for me with most pumpkin beers. And nutmeg and anything else that can give that almost throat puckering finish to it. So for that's the only thing I dislike about this beer, is that one flavor. The rest of it I am actually enjoying. And the scent out of the bottle. Fuck the scent out of the bottle. I don't want to think about my grandmother's fucking flower soaps. I don't want to ever think about her flower soaps. Especially when she ran out of real bars of soap one time and she was like, here's a perfume flower soap, go to the shower and clean yourself. Yeah. And you know why she bought those soaps? Because she's cheap and Irish and those soaps were cheap. That's the only reason she bought them. Not because she wanted to smell like flowers, because she's cheap and Irish. Fucking cheap Irish. Fuck the cheap Irish. Out of 10. You know what? I'd give it a 7. I actually didn't think I'd drink it again, but the more I drink it, the more the cloves kind of fade away. It was the first few sips that the cloves are really bad on. Now the cloves just kind of feel like a very strong English pale ale type of dirtiness on the background. And it's 7% alcohol, and I'm supporting local, I'm supporting guys I like, and they're not expensive beers either. I mean, there are better prices out there on a lot of at a lot of breweries, but at the same time, there are a lot of breweries that are a lot worse priced than these guys. These guys actually are fair price for what you're getting, and you're getting some great beers from some great guys and gal. And this is a great beer. It's not really my thing, but it's very well made, and I would buy it again just to try it, especially seeing the price to size and all that. Yeah, I could do that. Thank you guys for watching. Cheers. And chug time, I guess, eh? One, two, three. Okay. Jump the Pumpkin Shark Rye Saison. A little too carbonated to chug that much of. Yeah, that face was, I'm crying now, that face was me trying not to puke. First off the cloves, second off the carbonation, they attacked my throat. This chugging game, not always the best idea, but I do it for you. Actually, not that anyone cares, but people have, well, a couple people care because they asked me, where did the chugging start? When I first started doing the reviews, I was doing a lot of macro beers because that's what I could get my hands on, and it was kind of just chugging them to get rid of them so I could drink the next beer and review the next beer. Because I do 2 to 4 beers in a night, and they were just 341 milliliter bottles, so it wasn't like it was palate fatigue or anything like that. And then I stopped chugging for a little bit because, you know, I wanted to enjoy my beers as I started getting into the craft stuff. And then I started chugging all the time, because what would happen is I would start doing my group reviews, and we'd get like 6 of my friends in the basement at one time, and we'd be doing reviews, and we'd do like 12 reviews, which ended up being about 6 beers a piece. Well, not 6 beers for me, I guess, and, you know, 2 beers each for them, because we'd be splitting them. We were splitting them then. And since I was the only guy that was in every review, I had to drink the beers faster, so I was chugging because of that. And, yeah, and now it's just stayed on since then, for no apparent reason. Thank you, guys. Bye.